Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, August 27th, Jackson Hole Day. Big one out there. So, hope you're all having a good one, right? Let's get after it. So, first things first, any day that Powell speaks, right? Any day that we have anything with the Fed on the docket, right? Nervous markets, choppy conditions, really, really nasty action, right? So my bias all day today is to sit on hands, right? If I do take a trade, I'm playing everything at lotto size or smaller, right? Nothing to risk here, no reason to give anything away, right? The motto for the day is, right, protect the green week, let Powell speak, right? Just let him do what he needs to do. You don't need to touch anything. Don't need to take any trades, right? Just have a nice, chilled day. It's going to be potentially really nasty out there, really frustrating, right? Do not give anything away. So, that being said, right, here are what I'm looking at today. I'm only looking at the five core names, right? So that's SPY, QQQ, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft. Two reasons, right? I have more familiarity with these names, right? So I feel more confident in how they trade, in how they move. And so when we get this kind of wild action today, right? We get this algo-driven action, this kind of headline-driven action. I'm familiar with how these move, so I'm going to feel more confident seeing setups here, right, if I see them. Second, right, these names are the core five for a reason, right? So they have just incredible option volume, right? So I know that the spreads are always going to remain relatively consistent. If for whatever reason I get the volume disappears and the spreads dry up, right, you're going to be going towards something like, maybe a 5-10% spread. Whereas if you trade some of the other names, right, like sometimes we trade Penn, right, the spread on that can get to that 50, 60, 70% range sometimes even when that volume gets dried up. And just don't give yourself a chance to win when you get stuck in a play like that. So our objective is to avoid conditions where we can't get out when we want to or how we want to, right? And if we don't kind of stick to the core five today, we're not going to have that opportunity. So that's my bias, right? Today on the SPY, right, I think we're going to have a chop day sort of in between these ranges, right? Sort of this 449 area, maybe 449.50, and this 446 zone. Any kind of unexpected news about a taper coming or something along those lines could introduce a crazy amount of volatility into this market. What I generally don't like, right, what generally can be a very challenging type situation to trade, right, is when the VIX ends up sort of sub 20, right, open sub 20 and climbs during the day, right, just chops up during the day. That can make it some of the hardest conditions to trade. And if we start getting more taper talk, we start getting more discussion of that from Powell, right, we're going to see the VIX climb a little bit. So, like I said, guys, right, my objective today is sit on hands, protect a really nice green week now, right, after yesterday's huge win. So I'm in no rush to give anything away. So, if we do get some setups, right, going to look at it, but going to wait till after Powell speaks, right? So, something like the SPY, we'll play breakouts over this 449, right? And this is going to move 50 cents at a time for this first, like, $1.50 or so. And then you can finally break out up and over that. Then, maybe you got room towards that 451, 452.50, 452 area. Could get a little bit of follow through, right? To the downside would be my bias, right, on continuation of kind of yesterday's thesis, where, we saw, okay, buyers were kind of running out of momentum, right, making higher highs on weakening volume, right, top of BB band. So I'm more interested in those continuation moves, right? If we can get that breakdown under that 445.95, right, we actually start getting decent sized levels where we can start chasing stuff that goes like $1 at a time and then $2 or $3 at a time. So, I think I'm more interested in place to the downside, right? Really strong volume day yesterday, right? Directional day, directional candle. Kind of telling you the same story, right? So if we get news of taper and we things start to sell, right, I'll definitely be interested in those sort of moves, right? Same story with QQQ, right? Yesterday our thesis was breakdown under this, say, 373.20 area, right, and has room towards that 370. We found a little bit of resistance there at that 372, right? Okay, moved $1, no big deal. So we can get that continuation breakdown here. It's got a chance to get down towards that 370 area. I'd like to see if that can happen. To the upside, I'm not quite there yet. Yesterday we talked about how we wanted to see like a bullish directional day, right, where it's a full body bullish candle, or like a green hammer or something like that, and a big volume day, and we really haven't had that yet. So waiting for that before I'm really interested in being bullish here on Q. Right, Apple again looks like a kind of a bearish bias here, right? Bit of a hammer rejection, so pretty bearish candle. Follow that up with a DTR bullish and bearish engulfing, right? We're engulfing on volume, right? Engulfing candle. Yesterday, kind of a little bit of a small move, just kind of like QQQ. Couldn't quite break down, but still has a bit of a chance. So we can get that breakdown under that 147.40. Looks pretty good. To the upside, right? Want to avoid bullish plays until this kind of two double hammer candles can clear, right? So we have this doji here, August 17th, right? And then there's August 24th candle. Both of these are a little bit of warning signs, right? Or that you're finding sellers in these areas. Might be able to find a cheeky short entry here at this 150-175 area, maybe that 150 zone, depending on what the action is like. My bias is still to the downside here. So we can get that breakdown under that 147.40. I think we've got room down towards that 146 zone, right? And then lose that shelf. We go down towards that 144.50. So a little bit of potential here with this Apple, and we'll see how this thing comes together, right? Similar story on this Tesla. It's kind of sitting on like this 700 area, right? Inside a pattern, right? Kind of like, right? Same type of pattern, right? So both kind of in ascending wedges. Now sitting on an intra, right? Like intra pattern shelf, seeing how these will behave, right? So Tesla's sitting at a cycle level here at 700. So we're watching to see if we can get a bounce off of this, right? If we get that momentum, then we get those moves over that, say, 720, we're going to call it, right? You start to get that room up towards that 730. Breakdowns under that 700, we'll call it 697 here, give or take, right? They start to show us a little bit of weakness towards that 690, right? And then that 680 zone. So we have a little bit of potential, right? 700 is a pretty big zone here on Tesla, right? We've seen it a bunch of times get close, right? Test, break down, or break out. So let's see which one it is. I think my bias is to the downside here, right? Doesn't seem like it wants to hold for now. And maybe we'll be able to get that little bit of follow through here. Okay. Same thing with Microsoft, right? Microsoft, we've been talking about a consolidation period here at this $300 area, right? For that breakout over that 305. Still kind of hanging out there, tested a little bit under yesterday, but like couldn't really break down. So we're now looking for a move under this 297.66 towards that 295. Otherwise, we want bullish moves over that 306 area, we'll call it. It's just not going to be, I'm not interested inside this range here, right? Nothing here is telling me it's super bullish yet. Nothing here is telling me it's super bearish, right? Volume continues to remain a little bit light. So kind of like we're waiting on SPY and QQQ. We want that directional day and volume day to sync up. So that's really it, guys. Like today is going to be a challenging day. And like I said, my objective is to not give anything away and to make sure I'm being very patient with all my setups. I highly recommend everyone thinks the same way, right? Take the day off, walk away, trade on sim. There's no reason to give anything away today. So, yeah, I hope you guys are ready. Powell speaks at 10. It should be fun just to watch the market in general, see what kind of volatility we get, what kind of action. Yeah, like I said, lotto size are smaller and only trading the core 5 names. So that's the plan for today. So best of luck out there. Happy hunting. And I will see you all Monday morning. Peace.